petersen.
Well, hi kids, Uncle Tom here, long time no see. Hey, today I was just thinking, well, no lightning bolts or nothing. I had a dream actually. I wasn't just thinking about it. I had a dream and I dreamt about sauerkraut. You know why? Because the first week of January is Frank's sauerkraut week. Yes, you're supposed to make a meal out of sauerkraut at least once out of that week. So today being Friday, I am going to make some sauerkraut, and I'm not going to be making sauerkraut and fish, but I am going to be making sauerkraut and pork. This is a pork roast. This is a pork loin, boneless roast. And I have some apples, a couple of gala apples I'm going to chop up. I got the sauerkraut. Oh, come on over here, I'll show you. So what I got, of course, this is all the meat and the sauerkraut. I also have all the sauerkraut here, and in the sauerkraut I have, about a pint of sauerkraut, and I'm going to boil that in a can of beer. I have a Corona beer here. It's a Mexican beer. I don't know. You're supposed to use the cheapest beer you can find. I don't know how expensive this stuff is. I got it from my cousin for my birthday a couple of months ago, so I figured, well, I might as well use it in a cooking show. And then the gala apples. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to just chop up this apple a little bit so it's minced up like this, see? Alright, that's what I'm going to do now. You know, they have those machines now that can mince everything, but I like to use my knife. I've told you many times before that I'm the grandson of a man who lived out on a farm, who did his own butchering, and all of his sons became butchers. One became a barber, but, you know, it's kind of like the same thing, right? But after he became a barber, he decided that he was better at being a butcher. Or that's how the story goes anyhow. So he opened up his own butcher market, supermarket, up north. He moved away and went up north. So I'm going to put all the apples in this pan a little bit here, and what I want to do is with a little butter, I'm going to just kind of lightly brown up these gala apples. While those apples are browning, I'm just going to cut up an onion, dice it up about the same way I diced up the apple. Helps when you have a serrated knife like this one, and you cut through it like that, and it keeps the juices from flying up in your eyes. Alright, I'm going to add this to the apples. And since we're going to be cooking with the beer anyhow, I'm going to add some beer in here so nothing burns. You know, kind of boil a little bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt and some pepper. And then a little bit of granulated garlic on top of that. And then I'm going to add a little lemon pepper. The heat that I have it on too is like between medium and high. So whatever heat that would be, I have no idea. I put some jalapenos in here. I might do that. As you can see, it's not a whole lot. It keeps stirring it. You keep on cooking it until the onions start to turn translucent. That means that they're not white anymore, they're not yellow anymore, but they're kind of a clear. You can kind of like see through them, like almost like if you were looking through like a wax paper, holding it up to the light. Of course, it wouldn't have that color. It'd be translucent, meaning you'd be able to almost see through it. All right, now I'm going to take this off the heat. Turn the heat off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start preparing a fire outside, because my brainstorm this morning while I was sleeping said smoke the sauerkraut. Smoke the sauerkraut. So I'm going to go outside and I'm going to see if I can get the chimenea started up. It's been raining for the last couple of days, so I don't know, it might be a little bit difficult, but I can do it. I can do it. So I'll be back in just a little bit. I'll let this cool down. And now it's time to take that sauerkraut and get this going in the pan here. I'm going to add that Corona beer now. And I'm just going to bring it up to a boil. And at this point I want to add a little bit of sea salt. You need a lot of cracked pepper for that. And then once again you're going to add some more of that good old garlic, granulated garlic. Alright, so I'm going to add just a little bit of ground mustard. And just a tiny little bit of ground ginger. And a little celery seed. Gotta have that celery seed in your sauerkraut. And there we go. Stir it up. Now I'll just let it come up to a boil. I'll tell you what, even though it's a kind of a nice day outside, it sure is damp and wet, so I don't know how this wood's going to take, but I've been out there trying to get this started for the last 15 minutes, and hopefully it's going to work. This is something that you get when you're grilling. You put vegetables, usually this side here, as you can see, has these little angles like that. You can put your zucchini and stuff like that, and then you cover it up like that, and it kind of keeps them inside, right? Well, anyhow, I like to use this side for my smoker. And actually you can just fold it over like this, and you're going to have plenty of smoke coming through, or you could just leave it like this on top of it. And I'm going to put this out on my, what do you call that, chimenea outside, you know. And right now there's plenty of smoke, but it's not the right kind of smoke. It's just that damp kind of smoke. And if that's all I've got, that's all I've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little tent for this thing. And in order to make a tent, I am going to bring it over on this side so that I can do it this way. You want to kind of tuck it in on one side like this, then bring it up on an angle like this, and then kind of tuck it in on this side like this. Make sure that you're not blocking your holes though. So you crimp it as close to the edge as you possibly can, so you're not blocking up any of the holes. I can always get that tent a little bit better. I want to get these two pieces together so they don't fall apart. See? And then you can open it up to make a little tent. And this is where I'm going to stick my sauerkraut. One end, of course, I'm going to be closing up, and that'll probably be this end, just right on the edge. And that's going to catch that smoke and keep it in there. So it's cooked up like that. One side open. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the sauerkraut right here on top of the tin, and then I'm going to let it flip over. I've got here this tray here to catch any kind of juices. So I'm just going to take the sauerkraut with my hands and start putting it in the tin. I've drained it as much as I could, right? So I'm putting that in, and a little bit of the moisture is going to be good for the smoking process, really good for the smoking process. So I just want to shake it down. Like I said, this is 2 cups of sauerkraut. Well, I sure hope we don't have a blooper on here. It looks like it's getting close to that right now. But just get that in there like this, shove it in, and then crimp it up nice and tight. I think if you had some good metal clips, you know, then it would work out perfectly. But since I don't have any, I just have to trust my crimping abilities with tin foil, which probably isn't the best, but it's going to work. So now I've got it, all the sauerkraut's flipped over, the juice is starting to run out, right? And I just want to get it back a little bit farther over where the smoke is going to be. It's just going to be cooking it and smoking it at the same time. So I can cover up this end now as the juice runs down my arm. And I'm ready to take it outside. So let's go outside. I'll show you what I got out here. Amazing. January 8th. And this is all the snow we have, and it's not even cold out. It's not even cold out. It's wonderful. So you can see how great the smoke is on this. It's really getting smoky. A lot of that smoke is going right up in there and just staying right there on that sauerkraut. Yeah, some of the sauerkraut's dripping down. Yeah, that's okay. Hey, this is my first try at this. It was a dream last night. We're going to see how it works out, so I'll catch you later. So while that is outside smoking a little bit, they're out there on the chimney, I'm just kind of lightly frying up some scrubbed and sectioned potatoes, like so. Yeah. Just lightly frying them in a little bit of olive oil. We're going to add this to the meat. How about if we make a pocket in this roast and then take all these ingredients that we cooked up a little while ago and stuff it inside of it? That sounds good. Another thought came to me and I wasn't even dreaming. But first of all, we have to probably put this on the stove and brown it up. But before I do that, I want to cut that pocket. So I'm going to go right inside here, right where the little vein is, where the fat is running. And I'm just going to cut into there, but not all the way down to the end, so that we have a little pocket. And I want to make sure that I cut all of the areas. Now this is where a serrated knife doesn't really come in handy, but you can use it. I like using my serrated knife. Just want to cut it back as far as I possibly can to make room to stuff it. And whatever stuffing's not used, I'll just add it to the top of it along with the sauerkraut. Oh, speaking of the sauerkraut, I was outside of the sauerkraut's looking great, man. There's some good smoke getting on that. So now I have my little pocket. I'm going to take this over and put it in that same pan. I'm going to take some of this fatty grizzle probably off of here. That was between the two pieces. Whew, that's a hard one to cut. Wonder if this pig ate some string at one time. But anyhow, we got a nice pocket in there that we can stuff it. Now I'm going to take it over to the stove and then throw it in and brown both sides of it. Alright, so inside, in that same pan that we had the potatoes, we're going to sear the meat. We don't have to sear it. So I've got the heat turned up, pretty hot, in that same olive oil that we had the potatoes in. And what I want to do is I want to just brown both sides of the meat, all the sides of the meat actually. So I'm going to keep moving it around, just make sure it's brown. And then after that's all done, we're going to lay it in the bed of potatoes. And, well, we have to stuff it first of all. Then we're going to lay it in the bed of potatoes. And then we're going to go outside and get that smoked sauerkraut. Well, I bet you that's really good by now. Okay, time to flip it over. Now don't forget to do all 4 sides. Go down there and do that side. Get it down in the oil. Get a good sear on it. You can start to smell it. Time to flip it over to the other side. Got to get that little brown looking on it, you know, and see that little brown? That's what you're looking for. And now if it's starting to stick, then it's time to take it off the heat. So I think this has been browned good. I've had it on a really extremely hot oil right now, so I'm taking it off, turning the heat off, let it cool down, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do next. Pork loin is gotten cool. I can touch it. Yeah, there you go. And now it's time to do some stuffing. So I'm going to start stuffing it with this good mixture that we made a little bit earlier. Now, if you were watching that cartoon I just showed, you saw those penguins jumping over the rope, and right away I started thinking, rope. That would have been a good thing to put across here and try to tie this down. But I don't have any rope, so I'm just going to have to hope that it's going to work. Okay, the rest of the stuff we'll just kind of put off to the side. Now I'll get those potatoes over here. Oh yeah. We'll just take the rest of this and we'll put it over the sides and over the top. We have to get ready to go out there and get that smoked sauerkraut now. I bet you it's really good and smoked. By the way, it's gotten really foggy outside. I mean, if I was to take the camera outside to see you, so you could see what I was doing, taking it off the grill, you wouldn't even see me. It's that thick. Now I'm going to go outside, and if you want to come along, you can, but if you can't see anything, that's not my problem. All right? Go outside. All right, this is nice and smoky. I'm going to take this in the house. I didn't use the gastrodome tonight. I'm going to use the oven. It's a little bit wet out, but boy, does this ever smell good. Nice and smoky. Let's go inside. Oh boy, oh boy. I wonder what this is going to smell like once it gets in the oven. There's so much smoke on this. It's hard to believe. Man, oh man, it's so foggy outside. I hardly could find this thing. Oh, let's look at this. Let's look at this. There definitely is a smoky flavor to that. You can see it on the tin foil. That's a little bit brown, which means that this has gotten to be good too. So, without further ado, we are going to take the sauerkraut and we are going to lay it on top of it. put this in the oven. Well, I did find a lid for this. I'm going to stick it in the oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to check back in about an hour and a half and see how things are going. 350 degrees. See you back then.
Well, it looks like sauerkraut.
That's sauerkraut.
And some potatoes.
Yeah.
And it looks like underneath there might be a loin roast, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, it's smoked sauerkraut. I spent.
How did you smoke sauerkraut?
The sauerkraut's been sitting out in the smoker outside in the you know, that little chimney we have out there for at least 4 hours. Oh. I've been smoking some wood out there.
Some apple wood?
Well, whatever.
Sweet apple.
Nah, whatever wood falls from the trees. You know, we've had a lot of storms and it just, you know, keeps falling. So that's what I just keep collecting wood, and that's what we
And is there some apples on here too?
There is apples in there. Once you open up that meat, you will find just a wonderful amount of apples and onions, and it's, you know, like I said, I've been cooking this all day long for you. I've just been waiting for you to come home.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
it's
sure
only
appreciate
for you, too.
Oh, sure appreciate it. Looks good. Mmm. Nice and juicy.
Is it juicy?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Looks like it's done. Well.
Whoa, did that smell smoky?
I'll say it does.
And look at the juice at the bottom of that, too.
Wow, yeah.
I'm surprised.
Ooh. Nice, nice, nice. Good.
All the raccoons will come and start trying to eat all this good food.
Well, sure looks good, my darling.
Yeah, dig in.
Were the potatoes smoked too?
No, no. The only thing that was smoked is the sauerkraut.
And then how did you do the pork?
Pork is in the oven for 2 hours, 350 degrees. It was stuffed with pre-cooked tomatoes and onion, or apples and onions.
Good.
Cut a slit in the side of it and made a little pocket.
Well, it's got a little bit of kick. Did you have some kind of Louisiana hot sauce or anything?
What do you think?
Jalapenos.
Very, you know, you guys saw, I didn't put many jalapenos in there, not at all. And she's already complaining about it.
I was complaining. I said it's got a little bit of a kick.
Nah.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
You know those 2 or 3 slices you get at Subway when they get a Subway sandwich and they give you a little cup of Subway? Well, I had 2 pieces and I diced it up, and that's what I stuck in there. 2 little slices of jalapeno, and you tasted it.
Well, there you go. Well, it gives it just a little bit of heat to make it interesting.
Yeah,
so I think you did well. Sure is nice and moist.
Yeah, it is. It's really
good flavor too.
Really good. Yeah.
Now, how did you go about smoking the sauerkraut? I mean, you can't put it on a grill.
Well, first of all, I boiled it in beer. I had a dream last night and I boiled it in beer.
Well, there you go.
And I stuck it out there
just like brats.
On the chimney. After I boiled it, I drained it off really good. Stuck it on a...
How did you put it on the chimney?
Oh, do I have to tell you?
I'll watch, okay?
Yeah, you watch.
Okay.
Because it's so complicated, you know. It was like coming out of my head as we were cooking, as you can tell. You know, and yes, I got the smoky flavor.
Yeah,
you know,
I sure did.
4 hours of that, and just, you know. But I did run out of, I was running out of smoke. So I had to throw a couple of pieces of wood on there that was wet, and I think that added on to that smoky flavor.
Well, sure, because it wouldn't burn. It would just smoke, yeah.
So 4 hours of that.
Sure is good.
Yeah.
so moist.
Yeah. And the apples and the onions were cooked with probably about a teaspoon of butter. Put that in there, and then just stir fried it a little bit, and then put that off and let it rest. And then after the meat was already browned, I browned the meat on the oven, on the stove, and then I had a little slip cut in it, and then I stuffed it with that cold mixture, and that's when I put it in the oven. So
that's good. Because when you said 4 hours, you did the pork for 4 hours?
No, the pork was only for 2 hours.
Ah.
But the smoking of the sauerkraut was like 4 hours long. I was doing other things besides
Because
that.
it's so nice and moist. It's not dry at all, and has good flavor. Picked up some of the flavor of the apples and the onions.
Yeah. During that time, I did an oil change on the Pontiac.
Did you really?
I had nothing else to do, so 51 Pontiac, I did an oil change on that. Greased and lubed it. It's all ready to go. Take a little cruise tomorrow. See what happens.
Yeah, as long as it's before the afternoon, because I think it's supposed to snow tomorrow night.
I know. It looks like we're going to have some winter weather, which we were not thinking that we were going to get it this year, but we got it.
Well, we've got plenty left over that we can
Yeah.
have another good meal of this tomorrow night.
Well, you know, we got the football game this weekend too. And you said, you promised me you were going to make a chocolate sauerkraut
That's
cake
right. That's right.
for the game.
Now the recipe though didn't call for chocolate. I've seen ones that do have chocolate sauerkraut, but the recipe that was on your Facebook site didn't have any chocolate in it.
Bummer.
We can throw some chocolate in it if you'd like.
I've got to have chocolate.
Oh well. Okay.
All right.
We'll put some cocoa in it. It'll be all good.
I think this is a good meal. You know, I think maybe if we, the one thing that I'm missing out of this thing is some green pepper. I think some, if I would have taken a green pepper and chopped it up and kind of just sauteed it a little bit along with the onions and the apple, I think, oh, that would have just kicked it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just missing a little bit of that, the green, you know?
Not for me. I really liked how this was. The way that you had it, and with the apple juice, it's really a nice.
Is that what this is? Apple juice? I thought it was wine. I was afraid to drink it.
Apple juice. It's a real good compliment to it.
Oh. Oh. That might be a good idea.
Oh, those wheels are turning in your head. I can see them.
Sauerkraut and apple juice.
Huh?
I bet you if you would take apple juice instead of the beer and cooked your sauerkraut in apple juice.
And then smoked it?
And then smoked it.
Well, what you did was very, very
Anyhow,
good.
the beer was good. I got that left over from Cousin Terry when he came over for my birthday. So, hey, thanks for coming by.
It's good.
See you again. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.